Good morning. Hiya. Thanks very much for all the various different things that you've had a go at doing. What I would like you to do today is really quite simple. I'll start you to look through. There are 11 slides in this. And you're going to start by just practicing and go, right, okay, what do I know about weather, climate, and temperate? Because you did them last week and you've done some of them, bits of them the week before. So this time, what I'd like you to do is to define those words, write them down, put them under the title of Week 10 Weather and Climate Starters, and then also do the word maritime. Then what you've got to do is dirt them. And that's dead easy. All you've got to do is check weather, climate, temperate as you against the work that you did the previous week, and then just look up maritime. So maritime obviously refers to the sea, and it refers to climate that is influenced by the sea. Now, what you're going to do for the next 10 slides is odd one out. So when we click onto odd one out for the second slide, you're going to be able to see that there are three weather related conditions. The first one's A, fog, the second one is B, frost, and the third one is C, rainfall. Now, they're not quite the same. In fact, they're quite different, and they form under different conditions, the weather phenomenon, as they're called. Okay, so here goes. And when you actually try to decide how they're different, what's the different, you have to use the word justify. In other words, you've got to explain what's going on. So what I've done is I've given you an example for the first one. Okay, so the odd one out between fog, frost, and rainfall. So click onto the third slide, and you will see that I've given you a bit of an answer. It's not perfect, but they are trying to get for you to understand how to put an answer together. So fog and frost are similar. The weather phenomenon or the conditions caused by moisture in the actual air itself changing state. So the water vapour, the gas, when it's in the damp air, then is in contact with the cold of the Earth's surface, and then fog is formed in the air itself and frost at the surface. Whereas precipitation is actually rainfall, and that's caused by water droplets actually not being held within the cloud. So the cloud itself doesn't have the strength to actually hold them in, and therefore it's going to rain because it's too heavy. Now, when you go to the next slide for odd one out, you're going to see the fact that there's A, a rainbow, B, clouds, and C, high pressure. So what you have to do, you can either look them up by using bite size, or you can just simply Google them and make a quick note in your book and say, okay, a rainbow is this, clouds are that, and a high pressure system is this. You go, okay, which one of those is different from the other two? And you just simply say what it is, okay? And you say then why. That's the justify bit. Okay, so when you go to the next slide, and there's another slide that's similar to it, where you've got a question mark. And the question mark is simply a word that could fit in that space. Now, being honest, the best answer for number one is snow. Snow causes a 250 vehicle pile-up in Italy. However, you could have put fog, right? You could have even put heavy rain, couldn't you? But the reality is that different types of weather conditions cause different kinds of things to happen. So, okay, the first one, the best answer was snow. And in these cases, it is possible to have a couple of different variations. So a couple of them are fairly ambiguous, so you're not going to be very sure. So that's the whole idea, to try and get you to think what could be the answer. And that's trying to make you think about the best answer rather than just any answer. Okay, so you record them, you write them down, and you go, right, okay, slide 5, number 1 is, number 2 is, number 3 is. There's no justification on this one, but there is on the next slide, and there are on all the way down to the 11th slide. Okay, so this one again, this is another of those, and I'm going to stop talking now because basically you've got the idea. So you've got to look up what the difference between cirrus, nimbus, and stratus are. the different types of cloud, they bring different kinds of weather conditions, and truthfully, they form under different conditions. So again, all you're going to do is look at bite size, look at cloud formations, and find out a little bit about them. The basic idea of this series of slides is for about 20 minutes, half an hour, you then go through the basics that are the weather and the climate. Okay, so good luck with those. You save that work, and truthfully, what I will do is then put up the answers next week. Okay, so good luck with that. And as usual, if there are any problems, simply just email me and just say, I'm not quite sure about slide 7 or 8 or 9 or whichever one you're not sure about. The odd one out, they all look a bit similar to me when I've run the research, and give me a bit of help. Right, being realistic, I really, really want you to stick with doing as much as you can on a regular basis. We will be moving to live lessons, and you'll read all about that in Doddle. Okay, I've already sent out emails to each of you. So good luck. I hope you're all well, and there is going to be a second slide. Okay, keep going.